Two Jack Bros. Two Jack Bros.
We are live.
Excellent.
Yeah, Matt, thank you for being here.
Dude,
what's up?
thanks for having me, man. I'm excited to be here.
Goodness gracious, our first guest, and it's the shaman, Matt.
As an
McCusker.
honor, man.
Goodness gracious, an honor to have you, man. What's been up? What's up?
Chilling, dude. Nothing.
Yeah.
I just told you, all I've been doing is the solo podcast on Patreon. And something I thought I would hate doing, dude. And I've been liking it a lot.
You know,
I've been talking to myself so much before that now I'm like, this is good. This is good. I'm talking to myself first thing in the morning for an hour in my basement.
You do it first thing in the morning?
Yeah. Cut the lights. Sometimes I do it in the dark with my eyes closed.
Nice.
Just get as weird as fucking possible.
I feel like at that point you're flexing. You're just like showing off.
But it's all audio, so you never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am
Like,
flex. I'm telling people like, yeah.
I'm in here connecting with the material.
I'm in the
now.
cipher, yeah. I'm in the cipher.
Yeah.
I was reading something recently about like what a monk was saying, like 5 things you should do in life were, and one of them was as soon as you wake up, you should like meditate on death.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely.
That's probably how I'm going to start my days now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You have to always be thinking about that.
Yeah.
God, that's the most gangster shit I think I've ever heard in my life.
Mhm.
Yeah, man.
Just wake up every morning and think about death.
Yeah.
You're
The other
welcome.
ones were like drink water, like go out in nature.
No, he's right. That's the right
Yeah.
call. Everyone should be thinking about that as much as possible.
Like, do you think about death? Like, what have you like? What conclusions about it? What makes you comfortable with it? I guess.
Fact that I'm healthy right now. Fact that I'm healthy.
You're like, that's way down the line. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just, the thing that makes me the most comfortable with it is thinking about how, we're essentially just like cosmic energy and we just go back into that. So it's like you shed your personality, that falls away, and that's tough to grieve, but you're like, hey, I still am infinite energy. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, we're gonna get enlightened this episode. It's gonna happen.
Yeah,
This
just
is gonna
like-
be our last episode of Two Jack Bros.
might
This
just
is gonna
stop.
be the
We
moment
might
we
just stop.
figure it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think about
That's
that a lot.
crazy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I mostly fear freak accidents.
Yes.
That's my biggest like.
I want a big build up. I do. I'm kind of a prima donna about how I die. I
Yeah.
agree with you.
Yeah, well, I'm concerned that it's gonna be like sudden.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not concerned in that like I guess more like I will never have my affairs in order enough to just go instantly.
True.
You
That's
know?
a good point. And yeah, I just want like the build up. I want like the like. Did you ever see the movie Stepmom? Where she like sits with like a blanket on her and just like sits out back, and everyone's like, yes, she's gonna die. Let her go.
Well, yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah, I want the full experience.
Yeah,
I'd like to know for like 10 years. That's I'm like, dude, you got 10 years. My sweet, thanks. Thank you.
I think I might want both.
Both.
I want a little bit of time with the blanket,
Yeah.
and then right before I get to the point where like I don't want to live anymore, it hurts.
Yeah.
Just like a fucking like somebody's hot air balloon just dislodges and the basket falls on me out back. Just like some weird freak accident.
That would be kind of nice. Yeah.
It'd be pretty sick.
Just to throw people off.
Yeah, because it would for a split second you'd find out like you hear how Cindy died, like a hot air balloon basket fell on top of him. And for a split second people who know me would be like, did he try to catch it? So I'm excited about like leaving a little bit of mystery.
True.
About like how did I get into that situation where that happened?
Yeah.
Or to pay somebody to disappear your body. Like you have like a couple months to go and you just don't tell anyone, you just vanish. People are like, what the fuck? Then you're getting ascension rumors. If you vanish as like say you live like you live like 80.
Yeah.
And you're gone. It would be so mysterious, but dude, you just disappeared.
Dude, that might be the best way to guarantee that Ansley never finds another love after I go.
That's a good point too.
Yeah.
That's a good
He's
point
around
too.
here somewhere.
Yeah, either you'll think that or you'll dedicate the rest of your life to finding out what happened to me.
Yeah.
But I thought I'd be the like, who are you going to ask to do that? That you
You
think
thought I
is
was going to pay you to disappear my body?
Who do you trust that you don't think is going to give that secret away? That's not going to like.
It'll be a whole industry by then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be.
Yeah, definitely not going inside the family.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, family's too yappy. I don't think anybody in your family could hold that secret for longer than a year.
Yeah, if you faked your death at 80,
Yeah.
enjoy like 2 more years of just like, yeah, nobody knows where I am. That would be really nice.
That would be pretty
Wait, when
sick.
I'm 80, you still don't want. When I'm 79, you still don't want me to enjoy life with another man.
Nah.
Oh, definitely not. Especially
Nah.
not then. Especially not then.
And still no stepdads. Nah. Yeah, no step grandpas, none of that shit. I'm not having any of that shit.
True. Yeah,
Yeah.
you need like the Tupac thing around your death. People need like, nah, he's alive.
Yeah.
You're like,
That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah.
I'll be like theoretically 89 and be like, we haven't found a body yet.
Yeah.
True. Today would have been his 120th birthday.
Yeah. So we're joined here by Matt McCusker. You may know him from Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast. He's also an author of the novel Overlook.
Yep.
You know, and just an outright shaman, an award-winning stand-up comedian.
A long time ago.
Yeah, but that award doesn't go away.
True. Yeah, true. It's in my basement.
You're still on the Mount Rushmore.
True. Yeah, true.
So Matt graced us with being our first guest ever on Two Jack Bros, and you know how we do it here. We're
Dude.
trying to find enlightenment. We just have maybe we just have a sense of humor that's a little bit of inappropriate, right? So we brought the ultimate scamp,
True.
like the bad boy, the comedy bad boy, Matt McCusker, who's like so higher consciousness stuff isn't something that you shy away from, right?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I would say I pig out on it. I think I pig out on higher consciousness stuff.
So what do you think about the possibility of achieving it? Like, do you think our quest is noble to not have to change our inappropriate sense of humor and still achieve a higher consciousness?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you can achieve higher consciousness without letting go of what you deem inappropriate, especially in the realm of humor. So if you're judging what people are laughing at, you're probably, I mean, do you ever see the scale of consciousness? It goes from 0 to 1,000.
What?
Yeah, humanity's sat in like anything under 200 is not life affirming, and humanity as a whole has been in like 180 for a long time. We're now at
Wow.
we're now collectively around like 220 something.
What do they rank this on?
It's a good question. This is kind of a sore spot. A guy determined this by doing applied kinesiology, which is muscle testing. So you hold your elbow, you hold your arm out, and if you're like encountering a falsehood, your elbow will dip a little bit. But if
This
it's
is our
true,
kids' favorite game right now. To tell if each other's lying.
Yeah.
so he used that and he did this whole scale, and he would just like test certain things. Like, oh, is it over 300? And you know, and
Yeah.
if it was under, your arm would go down. This guy wrote like thousands of pages. The books are fantastic. It's just the
Yeah.
method is highly controversial.
It sounds like he started out like he got his measurement system using someone like me, because like any other scale is like 1 to 10, you know,
Yeah.
something that you can quantify.
0 to 1,000.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know, 1,000. I think I'm 1,000.
Well, the coolest thing about the test, I've read a lot of this guy's books. The coolest thing about the test is people would use it and they're like, this is bullshit. And he was like, well, it turns out if you're below 200 on the consciousness scale, it won't work for you. So it's kind of like,
bullshit.
Yeah. Sorry.
it's built in to like determine if people have like they have like bad intentions. The test won't work for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how awesome is it though that you have a thing going on that it's set up so that when somebody's like, this is bullshit, you're like, I'm so sorry to hear that. Not looking good for you, buddy.
Like, dude, the other stuff this guy writes it's fantastic. He writes specifically about how to, because when you go up to 1,000, that's enlightenment.
Yeah.
You know, but anything over 200 is good.
Okay.
Where is he at? Is he at 1,000?
He never really discussed his own score, but
Yeah.
the last book I listened to him is just question and answer, and he's just rattling off answers to questions that I'm like, this guy's, he's up there.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's up there.
All right. So
His name's David Hawkins, I think.
David Hawkins, we'll check him out.
Yeah.
Pretty good. It's
Yeah,
pretty
we'll
good.
get into that. Actually, you gave me you gave me some reading
Mhm.
that his original study, I think it was, and you told me like to skip to like deep chapters.
Yes, that was Power versus Force.
Power versus Force. Yeah.
Skip to the whole first half of of one of his books. He talks about applied kinesiology, and it's like it goes into like serious detail, and it's like,
Yeah.
dude, please talk about outer space. Explain outer space. Please explain God to me. I get it. It's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love, dude. His books are fantastic.
That's what's up.
Just
man.
having the scale of consciousness is cool too.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. That is, it's just having something to be able to look at a person and be like, 400. That's a 400.
400 is the area of the intellect. That's like really smart people who haven't got out of linear thinking, but are like the height of linear thinking.
Man, that is now I want to, of course, take back that exaggeration of 400 because one of my biggest pet peeves is a person that you know is a fucking idiot trying to declare that someone else is a genius.
Yeah.
Dude, I hate being, oh, this person's a genius. Like, how would you know what a genius is? No way.
Yeah.
No way you can determine what a genius is.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, that's a fair, I guess, who can reliably do that?
I can't. I don't feel comfortable saying that.
Yeah.
What I can say for sure is like, that person's really good at that thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I can really say for sure. Or it's like, that person seems smarter than me.
Yeah.
Like once you're like, I don't know what the difference is between smarter than me and a genius.
I think the literal term of a genius is somebody who's like possessed by the thing they're doing to the point where you feel like it almost comes outside of them. The genius was like, it comes from like the daemon thing from like your demon from ancient Greece. Genius somehow is linked to that. Like somebody who's in complete possession of their daemons.
Yeah.
And just, in different areas.
So you could be like a genius douchebag.
Yes.
Like if all you cared about was like getting pussy and money.
Oh yeah. You could no, like, literally you could be. You could be.
Dude, so I guess I take it back. So like when you say somebody when they're like the baby is a genius, like yeah, yes he is.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah, it's like
He's about getting pussy and money. Like that's all he seems to be about.
Yeah.
He lives that. He exudes that.
yeah.
Genius.
What's also too, I think it's something they phrase it as it's something people possess. Like you possess genius, and it just means like single-minded focus in one area, where it's almost you're compelled against your will.
Yeah. That's interesting. I mean, I guess that's an interesting way to look at that because you can easily, anybody can identify like that person seems to be possessed,
Yeah.
I feel like it's easy to see when you think about like musicians and artists that way because like you see how much musicians live lives that are like detrimental to them.
Yeah.
And you're like, like why can't they stop like destroying themselves,
Yeah, so daemons, dude. They're in the clutch of their daemons.
Yeah.
I guess it always annoyed me when they would say somebody like Pamela Anderson's a genius. Like, really?
Yeah.
Like, why is she a genius? Or who was the one chick?
Kardashian was getting genius.
Yeah.
Right, a lot.
Yeah. It's like,
She's married to Kanye, so.
is he a genius? Is Kanye a genius?
I used to hate when people said that. Now I'm kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, you think he's a genius?
I think so.
Yeah. I was thinking about something funny the other day, where if Kanye runs for president again,
Yeah.
I'm gonna run for Kanye.
Okay.
Yeah, because like Kanye, like what is Kanye West has transcended the human that is Kanye. Like it's a mantle now. Like somebody has to be that. Like you can't be Kanye and president.
Yeah.
They're
so he's
diametrically
really
opposed.
True.
Yeah.
Right? But somebody has to be Kanye. There has to be a Kanye.
If he
now.
becomes that would be funny if he became the president, was just like talked like Mike Pence. Just was like, it's like a human cornfield.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I agree. Take a look at that.
Yeah. All right. So
that's a fair point, dude.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna have to inhabit that.
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of everything he's doing rules.
I know. I saw your eye go up when I said that. Like, are you gonna also run for Kanye? Dude, that
No,
would be
I could.
sick
I
if
don't
we
know.
both ran for
I
Kanye.
couldn't, dude. I couldn't. I like how he fired that guy recently. Everyone's kind of getting pissed at him.
Yeah.
There was a
Wait,
story.
I
He
don't know.
fired one of his sound engineers, and he fired him through text and said, "Go find God."
Damn.
But the guy, so you see the headline, like, man, that's whatever. I didn't even think that was mean. I was like, yeah, well, we'll see what happened. And the guy was 2 hours late.
Yeah.
He like woke up and was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I slept in." And he was like, "Don't come in, you're fired." And the guy was like, "Well," he was like, "Go find God."
Yo, Kanye's trying
You're working
to make
at a
the
high level,
impossible
dude.
happen.
Yeah, you're working at a high level. You
Yeah.
can't sleep in and be like,
2 hours
"Oh
is
man,
way too long.
I snoozed." It's like gone.
Yeah. I also find it somewhat poetic that Kanye fired his sound engineer through the written word.
True.
Yeah.
How do you sleep in though?
I don't know.
On that, it's like, how jaded are you to everything in your life where you're like, I forgot to work on Kanye's new album, and the whole entire world's talking about fuck. Oh, I was so staying up last night. Like, what was he doing the night before?
Yeah, no, he's
Watching-
having way too good of a time.
Yeah, he was just watching like Terminator 2. He's like, oh fuck, I should have stayed up.
I was trying to catch up on the Matrixes because the new Matrix is coming out. That's sick. All right, so Matt, what we're gonna do on the show, and we hope this is gonna be kind of the rubric for how all of our guests are gonna go. So we're basically gonna go through the process of opening up the chakras, I guess.
Nice.
We're gonna go through. If you've seen Avatar: The Last Airbender,
Seen it.
the Guru episode,
Yeah.
that's basically what our show is.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That was one of the best episodes, by the way.
it is, and we never get past the second chakra here. Like we
Really?
I mean, because we always get sidetracked. We usually don't even start until. I mean, we're starting way early now.
Yeah.
Like we're usually bullshitting for
You're
way
just like
long.
done, yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm really excited about this.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
excited about like to go through this whole entire process and then become enlightened through your experience,
Nice.
right? Because that's what we're trying to do. Because if anybody can figure it out, we'll all know it,
True.
right?
That is a fact.
So before we even get into this, one of the questions that I have is like, what situation or experience in your life do you feel like you got the most information from?
Being divorced.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just that was like, that was when I was like, all right, because I was just fucking off. Like in every dimension of my life, I was just like, whatever. And then you go through that, and you're like, oh my god, the repercussions to stuff are so fucking real. You can't say whatever to things. Yeah, easily. I would say hands down.
Yeah. Like, what were some of the immediate repercussions that like brought you out of your Peter Pan lifestyle? Were you Peter Pan, and is that what were you?
Yeah, I would say just
Yeah.
like not having any fucking idea what. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Trying to cut down the
I mean,
curse words, dude.
Okay, I mean, you don't have to for this
I
episode.
know, I'm just-
but yeah.
Well, it's also funny to me to be like, I'm trying not to curse. The answer, the first, I kind of forget your first question. You were saying it was like, it definitely made it. It wasn't even Peter Pan. It was like I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. So
Yeah.
then like, when you like break up when you're younger, it's like I was still in that mode of high school, being like, oh man, I'm breaking up with my girlfriend, and just be like, oh my god, I can't believe she's crying, like
Yeah,
being
yeah.
a moron.
Yeah.
And then you get to an age where like you see like devastation in terms of a relationship, and it's like, what the fuck? I need to be more conscious how I live my life. This can go very badly.
So I mean, so what do you remember? Like the first thing you felt like you needed to like, because every now and again, like you hit a rock bottom, and you're like, I need to change this.
Yeah, I wasn't there yet. I was just like,
Okay.
this is fucked, but I'm the best. I was still like, I'm the best. This is sad and fucked up, but I'm gonna go be the best. And then I've talked about this before, how it's like, especially when you're in like a long-term relationship like that, the picture you build of yourself as a single person is just completely a fantasy story.
Mm-hmm.
I remember just being like, dude, if I were single, you get out of it and you go, oh, I remember this. I was kind of like angsty and like weird, and I didn't talk to anybody, and I was like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna get out here and crush it like I thought it, and it's just funny to come to grips with that. Like, oh, I remember this, yeah.
Yeah, because did you start blaming, like when you were in the relationship, like blaming things on her?
You're
I'd
like,
be so much better if, like,
Oh.
all this baggage.
yes, that's a tough way to put it, but yes. No, you start to build this fantasy of like, because I didn't have any, like, I didn't know how to cook before, I didn't know how to do anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know how to cook now. I should just be single. Like, I could.
Yeah.
If I knew how to do that, this would be crazy.
Yeah, I have not dated from my 20s.
Yeah.
Like, so we'll say, I mean, our relationship wasn't all peachy in the beginning.
Yeah.
So we'll say from like,
Dated a little bit during their
yeah, they had a few dates while we were together. But from my mid 20s until now. So for like 15, 16 years, I've been completely out of the dating pool. And not only that, everything changed. It went from analog to digital in the time that we've been together.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So the world
Like
is
all
different.
the dating sites and stuff.
You got
those-
out.
ooh.
Yeah, you got out at the absolute perfect time.
Yeah.
The longer you date into adulthood, it's like stinks, dude.
Yeah. And I understand what you're saying, because I laugh about it all the time. Like, you walk around the grocery store as a man in a relationship with a different kind of confidence than when you're single. And when you're in a relationship, you leave the grocery store and it's like, man, I'm such a good guy for not hooking up with all those chicks that wanted me in that grocery store. They were falling all over me.
Oh yeah.
See what that chick said, hi in the bread aisle? It says
Yeah.
hi in the bread aisle like that.
Yeah, dude. No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, and it's like, and then you see guys that you can tell are single, and just like walking like with like you said, like they're not relaxed. Their shoulders aren't completely relaxed. They look small. You know, like every girl they pass, they shrink a little more. And I'm growing. Like, dude, it's easy. Just do like I do. Just be confident like me. They love this shit. You know, and it's yeah. But if God forbid I had to be single again, I couldn't imagine. I think I would just like monk out and just be done with it all.
Yeah, dating in adulthood is like selling drugs in adulthood. It's like the same thing. It's like when you're younger, it's like, yeah, okay. Like when you do it into your like 40s and 50s, it's kind of like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
It's
like,
shitty.
I fucked up my life.
The clientele switches up. The clientele's not as glamorous.
All right. So we're cooking.
We're cooking.
We're cooking.
We're cooking. Hopefully, that was the first thing that popped in my mind.
No. I mean, that's preferably how we would want you to answer it.
Yeah.
You know, like what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
I didn't see people as three-dimensional creatures until then. I was just kind of like cool, and you're like, oh Jesus Christ, it's horrible.
Yeah. All right. So, how would you say you learned to overcome fear?
The most recent, the most recent thing was doing the 5 grams of mushrooms, because I was kind of like, I've had like really bad anxiety like when I was younger, and I'd always was like, you know, when I did the mushrooms, I was nervous to do that much. I was like, what's going to happen? What if it goes wrong? And I was like, I just want to do the thing that's really, to answer your question, you have to do the thing you're afraid of.
Yeah.
You have to. It's like, you know, unless it's like something like crazy, like, you know, I wouldn't like jump off your roof. Like that would be a bad thing. But like if it's like
I always wanted to know what it was like to take a man's life.
yeah. Within reason. Yeah, within reason.
I've been so scared, but Matt said.
Dude, you have to, if there's like things you know that make you kind of uncomfortable that keep coming up, you have to face them.
Yeah.
Otherwise your life just keeps shrinking. The thing for like fear, like panic or anxiety, this is from David Hawkins, who did the consciousness scale, is you focus on the physical sensation of fear. So you disengage from thinking, right? Like there's a whole thought process that just keeps triggering fearful sensations. You disengage from the thought process. Say, all right, I'm going to focus on the physical sensations of fear, and you boil them down to like, you know, what do I have? Like a tight chest, my stomach feels weird, I'm breathing. You kind of attack it like you would a sprained ankle. Where you're like, can I take the physical feeling of fear? Can I handle this right now? You say, yeah, I could, you know, it's just a physical feeling. And then you just let go of trying to control or have anything to do with it, and it kind of just mitigates itself.
Yeah, that's interesting. I feel like that's why a lot of these emotions that we maybe put a pejorative connotation to, like fear, anxiety, I think when they cause a problem is when you are trying to avoid the feeling that comes with them without dealing with the feeling.
Exactly.
Know? And that dissonance, I guess I would call it, is what. It's why everybody's just, you know, you're just like all weird. Yeah,
because you're supposed to like think your way out of it, but that's the thing that's creating it in the first place.
Yeah. All right, that was good.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
That was the first chakra.
Yeah.
Butthole chakra.
Butthole. We got a butthole.
Open.
I can now let go of my Kegel. I've been squeezing it
Yeah.
the whole time to charge up my Kundalini.
I felt it. How'd your butthole feel? Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving along. I mean, we're trying to like. Hopefully. You know, we'll open up our
We're joining the
chakras
process, the
vicariously
journey.
they're going up.
through Matt. So,
Yeah.
you know, how open do you feel like your butthole got from that?
Well, I wanna go implement it because you know, like it made me think about jujitsu, because sometimes still when like there's certain people when I'm rolling with, I still get very nervous, like and like, you know, get that whole like, oh my God, I'm underneath him, I'm claustrophobic, you know, like, and like I don't know, any different way to think about it there, I feel like is a good way to think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you feel like you'll apply it?
I'm just gonna go roll with all the douchebag guys that I don't like to roll with.
You mean all the geniuses at our gym?
Yeah. No, they're not douchebags, but like
they're geniuses.
As
Yeah,
you were
they're
talking, I was like, "Fuck! I forgot Ansley could kick my ass." I was like, "Fuck! God damn it!"
So this is this next one. This is the one where we typically get here, and like, at the end of the episode, and this is like where we get.
Yeah.
So this is a segment that we call My Bad. It's our favorite segment.
Yeah.
And this is what you just basically, you send out an apology to any person, place, or thing, any noun, that throughout the week or maybe throughout your life that you feel like will make your energy even by getting that out?
Right. Oh, let me think.
Yeah, we do this every week, so it gets
It's
tough.
very good. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's kind of a. I'm trying to think. Whom have I been shitty toward? I mean, obviously, there's the issue of, and I haven't done this in a while, but I should probably apologize for stealing from self-checkouts.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I should just squash that. Just
You just like
apologize.
slip one by into the bag, like
1, 2, 5, whatever's on the bottom of my cart. Yeah, I've been no freebies. I'm trying to get out of that, so I would apologize to multiple large chains.
Who do you have to apologize to the most?
I don't want to say.
Okay, fair
No,
enough.
it's
Yeah,
just,
off the record.
all of them. I
Yeah.
like
All of
to
them.
just the 7 major corporations out there. I'd like to
Yeah.
apologize to all the.
But
the
don't
board-
you feel like a
board
little bit like a
holders.
Robin Hood?
Yeah, dude. But then it's like, you're still stealing, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm not giving it to anyone. I'm just keeping it and eating it.
I mean, but like the Robin Hood equation works because you're stealing from a major corporate entity.
That's what I always said, and it's like, again, I don't feel badly like that. It's just like I don't want to be operating on that level of just like thievery.
Yeah.
It's like I don't need that. I don't need that charge. I don't like, if someone's like, I just stole all of everything from Amazon, I'm like, nice, cool,
Yeah.
good job.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't want to. That's a thing I don't want to entangle with.
It is weird when you go from being, because as you get into your older age, when you're trying to separate yourself from like activities like stealing or like starting arguments or being a problem, like problem shit, it's really, you just don't want the hassle of the consequences of it. And like before, the consequences of it were exciting. You're thwarting this corporate entity, you're not being arrested, but now it's like at the idea of like me being caught and having to fucking try to negotiate out of being a thief to some 18-year-old teller. What I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want that in my life.
Do you have a story in your head every time if you got caught? You'd be like, "Oh, my
Oh, yeah.
bad. I didn't
Oh,
mean
yeah.
to." Like
Oh,
it
yeah.
just.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, what's your story, man? You're giving it up?
It's you just act completely flustered, and you're like, what? You're like,
Yeah.
oh my god, I'm so sorry. You laugh.
Yeah.
You got me. What do we do now? Go to jail? 'Cause I think I'd have to legally leave the store before you could actually arrest me. 'Cause how do you know I know how to operate? I didn't. You're just assuming I know how to operate this machinery. I have like 30 minutes
I'm
worth
so
of
stupid.
exposition. Like this. Oh, we pay here? I thought we just scan our stuff and
Yeah.
go see someone. I thought, oh, there you are.
Yeah. Dude, I love you just start listing things from their handbook. Like when you were like, yeah, I think I legally have to leave the store for you to actually call me a thief, but no big deal.
I mean, can you look up? A lot of stores have no chase policies too.
Yeah.
I've talked to people. They'd be like, "Yo, our store has a no chase." And I'm like, "Nice."
Yeah. I
It
feel like
doesn't
you,
work at Sports Authority.
Yeah.
No chase.
what you do is you go up to the person that seems like they love their job the most.
Yeah.
Like that annoying anal person, and you look at what kind of footwear they have on.
No.
If they have on sneakers, they don't have a no chase policy.
Ah,
If they have on Crocs,
yeah.
no chase.
Foreman Mills has a chase policy. I saw someone chase and like drag somebody back in there one time. Foreman Mills has a very respectable chase policy. It was really good. I was in there. I stock up on sweatpants every winter at Foreman Mills.
Yeah.
And I saw someone chase. Dude, it was crazy. Just,
like jumping turnstiles.
just dragged a teenage girl back into the store. I was like, sit down. I
Was
like,
it one
whoa.
person?
Yes.
Drag the person?
Yes.
Wow.
Wow.
You
Could
know those dudes in like
imagine-
windbreakers, like security windbreakers? You're like,
Yeah.
Joe, this guy took off and was like, meh, just Fred Flintstone, like a.
Was it a big person dragging him back in? That's the thing here. Like we were talking about in China, like the way they solve problems, they just throw as many Chinese people at it as they can.
Yeah.
Like I just imagining like 19 Chinese people dragging one little girl back into the store.
That's how they handled COVID, pretty much.
Yeah, that's why we were talking about it. You see the way they were trying to like make a person take a test or like make the person It was just a COVID test. They had like 9 police officers holding it down. Yeah, that was a good time.
That'd be nice if you were a sub, if you identified as like a submissive person sexually, and the government started just like, like locking you in. You'd be like, oh yes.
Like, you just like open up your window. I'm an anti-vaxxer. And just like wait for them.
It's like 9 dudes in hazmat suit, knee on your back, and you're like, oh fuck, oh my god.
Oh, it's a hoax. It's a hoax. It's a hoax. That's what's up, man. So that's the second chakra. That's chakra number 2. It's associated with pleasure and guilt.
Nice.
And it's in the pelvis, basically. So
Obviously.
now you can hump.
Nice. I'm free to hump.
Humping muscles. Butthole open. Humping muscles. I mean,
I felt it come up. It's like, perfect.
That's probably why we typically stop here. I mean, this is who we are at people. Like we're pelvis people.
Pelvis butthole people. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, everybody's different.
Exactly.
Every couple's different. All right, so we're moving up, and disappointment. This is about disappointment. Like, when you think of the time you're most disappointed in yourself, what was it?
Most disappointed. I'm on like a tri-weekly cycle of this. So every 3 weeks, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
I fucked up my whole life. No, what would I most disappointed? I'm trying to think.
Because,
man.
well, I mean, I do have to say this too, because you honestly, you one of the most impressive work ethics of anybody that I've ever seen.
Thanks, bro.
You know, like you definitely hold yourself accountable for getting stuff done and at a high level. And like you were saying, you're not late. You're very punctual for. I guess for like all of the Peter Pan-ness that you have, you're also very responsible and get your shit done.
Yeah.
You know?
That was beat into me.
Yeah. It's pretty sick. So that makes me curious, even more curious, like where do you find disappointment? If I mean you're accomplished and not necessarily even just accolades, but just in things that you get done, like you've like over the past couple of years, you've finished writing more books than I finished reading. You know?
Really?
Well, it's like once it gets to the very, very
end,
it's
to
like,
finish,
I fucking know this.
Those
book
last,
now.
I mail in those last 20. I'm like, I get it. I fucking get it.
It's like, I mean, I did. And don't get me wrong. Like, I do finish even when I'm reading the books instead of listening. I do finish the books, but the way I read, like, because I have such low reading retention. I have to read every sentence like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I saw a guy who talked about this who said it doesn't matter if you finish books or not. You should just read them till you're interested. And if you're not interested, get another book. There's so much stuff to learn. It's like, why would you force yourself?
Yeah.
Just read it till you don't like it and just read something else.
Yeah, and it's like they're not gripping me in the end of this book. You gotta, you keep me in this book.
Yeah, you think you think I'm just gonna follow along. It's like, no.
Especially when it's just the last like 20 pages is just kind of like a recap of everything you read.
Yeah, I hate that.
It's like, well, I read everything 3 times already just to get here. I don't need your recap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think the last time I was really disappointed. I don't know. I think.
You ever had any like fatherhood disappointments?
Yes.
I feel like that's where I get like,
like
if I don't go back into like the like there's some you can go back, but you're like, oh, I was a child, like I was the 20-year-old, like what are you gonna do? But
that's pretty regularly as well. It's on a tri-weekly cycle
Yeah.
as well. I'm trying to think specifically though. It's like, what have I gotten bummed on? If I'm like, when I get disappointed in myself is when I just let myself get like negative in the house, and I know I'm like, if I'm not handling that well, or if I like get angry or like I stubbed my toe. We went away to a wedding in Chicago, and Brittany was in the wedding, so it was just me and Maya in this hotel room. And I was the whole time like, she's just a wedding, I didn't do everything. It's bullshit. So I was stewing all weekend. I'm stewing, and then like I hit my toe really hard on on luggage in like a pitch black hotel room when she had come back and Maya was there, and I was just like, oh fuck, and just screamed in agony for like 2 seconds, and was just like, oh, I'm sorry, I think I broke it though. Like, so I was disappointed. I let all of it out in that moment, and like cursed at the suitcase, and like I tried to think of why it was her fault in that moment. I was like, fuck, suitcase is right there, and I like thought about her being like, don't put it there, and I was like, shut up.
I want to put it there if you didn't say don't put it there.
I was so badly wanted her to be her fault. It was her fault to me in that second, and I was just like, it's not. And then I was like, then I got kind of disappointed in myself. I was like, dude, you're crushing the vibe right now.
Yeah.
You're just bringing just nonsense.
Well, I guess that leads to a better question then, or I guess a more specific question for your case. How is it that you deal with disappointment?
Let it go.
Yeah.
I let it go.
Yeah, it's always
I chalk it up. I don't like be like, hey, it's just like, you'll get them next time, dude.
Yeah.
I don't harbor it. I don't like, fixate on it. I just go, you'll get them.
I think that's a good way to handle it. How do you feel like you learned that? Because I think that is the difficulty. We all want to let it go, but how do you let it go? How did you learn to let it go? What was that process like?
Dude, I'm going right back to David Hawkins. He wrote a book called Letting Go.
Yeah.
That's all it's about, is how to surrender things and like just let them go.
Just because you don't control life? Is that like...
Totally.
Right.
And the way he says, especially if it's a big thing, like say you get fired and lose your job, oh my God, it's crazy. You focus on the smallest possible thing that you can let go of about the situation and let go of that. So say it's like, well, I kind of like driving to work every morning for 10 minutes and listening. You're like, well, can you let go of that? It's like, yeah, I can let go of that. And once you start letting go of the small stuff, you can work up to eventually be like, yeah, I can let go of that whole thing. So I just find like the smallest possible thing about the situation that you can just be like, that's fine. And then it'll just kind of cascade upwards rather than trying to take on the big one at first,
Yeah.
That piece of advice alone is worth listening to this episode.
Yeah.
The book's
yeah.
fantastic. I'm telling you, this is David Hawkins, man. This guy's genius. People just hate applied kinesiology. It's like, just forget about that and read the books. And maybe it's right. I don't know.
Dude, I'm not against the idea of the applied kinesiology. Like I get this. I'm very into just kinesiology, period.
Yeah.
And
Well, you're above 200. That's why. You're life affirmative.
I can't help that. I can't help that. Yeah. I'm probably around 269. Like as long as my back two digits are 69, I'm good. I don't care.
For sure.
Yeah. So but that's cool. I hope that's something that people can take and apply, like letting go of the smallest thing that you could possibly let go, and then moving on to the next. I don't think I've ever heard a better way to deal with that.
Yeah, dude's a genius.
Yeah.
This guy was for real.
Yeah.
This guy was a genius.
Man, I'm glad you believed in this applied kinesiology enough to.
Yeah, man. I was like, this sounds cool to me. And then I read the rest of the stuff. I'm like, well, all this is cool. I don't care about that, but this stuff's cool. And it's like, I try to do it to myself every now and again. I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know how this works. That was actually the last time I was disappointed in myself. I was driving and trying to park my car. I was in New Brunswick to go to a show, and like Brittany, the baby was sick, and I had to like go home to take care of the baby, and I was like pissed that I had to leave. I was upset with myself, but I was trying to answer questions on the way out of the parking garage, like, should I really go home? And a shorthand way to test yourself said, make this sign and see if you can break it with your finger, and I'd be like, I don't think I should go. And I was like, dude, just stop. Just go home. Stop.
Isn't that
I gotta stay.
Like, sorry, actually, it turns out the universe is telling me not to through my body. This
Science.
is truth
It's just
detected.
You gotta trust the science.
So I was
You
disappointed
better
in
not
myself.
call me with that, Cindy. Science says.
Yeah,
Getting
getting in an
science
argument.
tonight all of a sudden.
Getting in an argument in a parking garage, and as you drive, like touching your finger, that I was deeply disappointed in myself. I was just like, just go, man. Just come on the highway. Forget about this.
I have the answer. At the point where yeah, that's awesome. That's
Just
awesome.
grabbing at straws. I'm like, fuck, dude. So like, I'm 35. This is the best I can do.
That is. It's also. I feel like you have a sense of humor that helps with that. And which is why the whole crux of this is to not have to let go of your sense of humor, because when you can see how silly a moment is, like in an argument, because anytime we're in an argument, immediately I see how much of an asshole I'm being, even if I'm right. Even when I'm like gloating and I'm right, and I'm like, I'm ruining this now.
Yeah.
I'm really fucking this up. I can't stop. Like, and then I'll like poke my head in and be like, I was right? I'm like, oh, why am I saying this?
Dude, yeah.
Why am I saying this? I don't even care anymore.
Yeah,
So
but you
it's,
still want that. Yeah, you still want the dub.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like most of our arguments, what we do is we talk through what we find funny about what we want to say.
Mm.
It's like, oh, I think it was funny because I wanted to say fuck you right now. It's funny because I wanted to be like, stop acting like a bitch, you cunt. Isn't that funny? Yeah. So all right.
Just like that, it's so funny. It's crazy.
Isn't it crazy? We're such a good couple. And that's our third chakra. That's our chakra that deals with confidence and self-esteem, and that's in your gut.
Yep.
Get your gut biome together. You feel good that you're.
Yep. I just felt the shift. I felt it.
Yeah.
Oh man, there we go.
Are you good?
Yeah.
That probably also allows you to hump better. That like facilitates the humping chakra.
For sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's a fuel tank.
Yeah.
It's
Hell
going
yeah.
off. Yeah.
So we'll go to the next one, and this is I'm a little not concerned about this, but I'm just curious to see how this is gonna go. But I guess the way I want to ask it is like, what have you learned from grief?
To be nice to people, to be nice as possible to everybody.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you're grieving, that's the one thing. It's always like, I just want to be nice.
Yeah.
And it's it's the only thing that makes sense when you're grieving. It's like, let me just not be a dickhead.
How much do you feel like you carry that over after the grieving period?
I think I did.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think I have.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's up. I don't want to spend that much time on that. They didn't
Yeah.
spend that much time on the avatar. They just kind of like went through it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Ugh.
I'm not uptight about it. It's just like,
Yeah.
Anytime I've been like, when you really hit the fucking like there was a time when before Maya was born, Brittany was pregnant, like 9 months pregnant with her, and we were sitting there, and we were having an argument, nothing like that crazy, but we were arguing, and I like went to the room, and she went to go down the steps, and then like slid down the last like 4 or 5, just walked down, went bump 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 bump, and I was 9 months pregnant. I'm like, fuck, I felt so bad, and then she actually had like a little bit of bleeding. This might be like a little bit too much.
Yeah.
But in that moment, I was like,
Yeah.
I just went black. I was like, what the fuck did I do?
Yeah.
That was like, it was a very small window of it, but that was like pure grief. It was just like agony.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's like such a hard thing to translate into another person's mind. So of course, like like Ainsley lost her mother recently, and that was tragic.
Yeah.
That was a very difficult thing, but something that's slightly relatable to what you're saying. So one of her twins, we're again 9 months pregnant, we're close to the end of this, and her heart had a little hole in it. Like it didn't finish closing up.
Yeah.
And they had to tell it. You remember?
Oh,
right?
yeah.
This
yeah.
is like
I remember this.
Yeah. It was like, and it was presented to us as like, oh, don't worry about it. This is something that's like, this happens. It's probably just gonna close up, and we just have to monitor it. And until we found out the next time that it did, was it dilated or undilated? However, whatever the word dilated was being used.
Mm-hmm.
And but that time period until I got the information that it was okay, it was, I mean, I was already grieving, what could be the consequences of that situation, and it was pretty intense.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a horrible feeling.
Yeah, it was. And I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. I was already planning to be a curmudgeon for the rest of my life. Like if something happened to my daughter, like that, I was just gonna like, how am I gonna fucking be nice to people? You know,
it's crazy.
But then it's also the flip side of that is like when you're actually in the situation, when a situation does occur and you actually have to grieve, you do keep coming back to that. Be nice to people.
Yeah, I think so. Especially it's just like, it just puts everything in perspective. It's like, what the fuck am I? It puts all of your other problems into like absolute perspective. Where you're like, why am I freaking out about this shit?
Yeah.
So
I feel like it's the same. I'm gonna mess up the saying, like the same side of the coin or whatever. But like it always makes me think like living. I messed it up, huh?
No, you didn't.
Like living in the moment.
Yeah.
Because like the same way, like if you're living in the moment, like you don't want to live in the moment and be a dick. Like you want to live in the moment, be nice to people.
Awesome
right?
though, just be in the moment.
This is my moment.
Fuck you, man.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Well, if that's
for
your
sure.
truth, you got to be truthful.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
True.
Live your truth and be truthful. It's the other side of the same coin.
Yeah, that's what I
It's
said.
not the same side of the coin.
I was fully bought in.
I mean, I get it. Like she messes up phrases constantly. I always know what she's saying.
We're just communicating through symbols, dude. The
Yeah.
words
Yeah.
are just words
The
are actually
coin,
words are
side.
impediment to enlightenment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're just shedding, fucking
Yeah.
shedding them, dude. It's fantastic.
You're skipping ahead.
Yeah.
You're opening chakras ahead of us. So, all right, that's our heart chakra. That's love and compassion. We're opening. We're becoming enlightened. I feel it.
It's
feel it
coming.
happening.
It's coming.
Yeah, I feel it happening. This is more fun than I thought it was gonna be.
It's very
Good.
fun.
Yeah.
It would be funny just to phone in all these answers. But I don't know. I don't know.
I'm pretty great.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was, dude. I remember that was like, it was only momentarily, but it was like before we went to the hospital and everything got, like, oh no, everything's good, dude. It was like everything just went black. I remember just being like, what the fuck?
Do
Like,
you
can
remember
get
the
this
car ride?
sad? Barely.
Yeah.
I remember just like clutching the counter and just being like, ugh.
Yeah.
And then finally, like, we're fucking going to the hospital. And it was like, oh, you're good. I was like,
Yeah. Was there any like, oh, I'm never gonna argue with her again. I'm gonna let her win every argument from now on.
no, I don't, dude. I didn't even. It wasn't even. My brain wasn't even working on that level.
Yeah.
It was just like fuck.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
say black, was like the world black and white,
Yes.
or you're
It was just
Or was
went-
your wife
It was like
black?
the blood. That's when I realized, like, wait, my wife's black? No, it's like the blood got sucked out of my body. That's what it
Yeah.
felt like. I felt like I had no blood in my body for
Yeah.
like 30 seconds, and it all came back, and I was like, no, this is real. And I was like, all right, let's
Yeah.
go deal with it.
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
bad.
That's wild, man. It's just like it's like the way I feel just hearing you say that. Like I can
Yeah.
feel. It's like, ugh. Yeah.
Sucks, dude.
Yeah. And just for the record, Matt does have a black wife. We just want
True.
to put that out there.
People don't believe me when I do stand up. They're like, you really got a black wife? I'm
Yeah,
like,
I've
yes.
seen people question you after shows.
It's
or
crazy.
during shows. I've seen people question
Yes, that
you
guy did it
literally
the one
during
time,
shows.
yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
yes.
That's so wild.
It is fun. It is funny when people are like, wow, that's crazy. It's like,
Yeah.
why?
It's also funny how easily people believe that I have a white wife.
I feel like that's the same side of a different coin, though. I feel like-
Dude, it upsets me. It bothers me. I don't know why. I mean, I love.
We're both being
yeah.
accused of the same thing, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
Oh man! All right, so we're gonna move on to the next one. I was really excited about this one.
What is it?
Yeah. All right, so this is we're at the throat chakra,
Nice.
right? And this is about trust and expression. And the way that we're gonna come at it is, what is your favorite white lie that you've told? And extra points if it's an active white lie.
Oh man. Oh god. My favorite white lie.
Because as you're thinking, I can tell you one of mine growing up is I used to tell girls that I met that I was born with I had a twin that died at
It's
birth.
not a white lie. It's just an outright lie. It's an outright
It
falsehood.
was a white twin.
White lies when you like smooth over a thing you don't want to talk about.
Yeah, but
That was a falsehood, dude. You falsely represented yourself. If that's what the bar for them, hold on.
but it was an answer to why I was such an animated over the top person. You
Still
know?
not a white lie.
Well, but it was like rather than tell the people, oh, because I'm being raised by a single mom that doesn't teach me social boundaries.
Fair.
You know,
Okay.
it was easier.
I see what you're saying. Okay. Well, yeah. When the answer goes that deep, I guess you get kind of some breath and like how
Dude,
much
white
license
lies,
you get.
depending on how deep
True,
the truth is, you know.
That's a fair. No, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's now. I take everything I say back. That's a totally valid white lie.
Yeah, I did tell girls in college that at home before school I was in a gang. Well, not, but I was like an accountant in a gang.
Nice. That's actually
That's a white lie.
Yeah, that's
all right.
yeah,
That's a white lie.
accountant in a gang.
I just did the
You're like,
books.
I don't know why everyone thinks my wife is white. I'm an accountant for the Crips. Yeah, I've seen their books. Oh, the Gangster's Disciples? Yeah, I balanced their ledgers.
Yeah, I needed people to understand that I did come from that life,
Yeah.
but that I wasn't a threat.
True. That's
You
fair.
know what I mean? So it was the easiest way for me to convey both things. It's like, oh yeah, I was in a gang, but I just did the books.
Were you ever in a gang?
No.
Alright.
I mean, I was recruited to be in a local gang,
Nice.
but it was like, I don't know, it just felt like I was gonna be hanging out with a bunch of dumb dudes.
Yeah, it's kind of awkward. It's an awkward
Yeah.
process.
And it wasn't for me. It was like, what are we gonna do? What are our gang activities?
Dude, my friend,
You did an itinerary.
someone tried to, yeah, really.
Yeah, unless you can give me a syllabus of what we're gonna be doing all day long at the gang.
My friend tried to get inducted, or they tried to induct my friend in a gang when he was in prison. He said it was like they were really sore about it. They were white supremacists,
Yeah.
and he was like, "No, I'm cool, guys." And they were like, they're not like PA prisons they're not as like strong or of a threat.
Yeah.
But he was saying they like gave him a lot of gruff. They would like be like passive aggressive toward him. They'd be like, "Fucking guy doesn't want to be in our fucking gang. Fuck you, dude." And he'd be like, "Sorry, guys.
Dude,
I want to be a Nazi right now. Kind of dealing with a lot right now. I'm processing a lot. I don't think becoming an active Nazi will help this process."
I'm over here trying to open up chakras, dude.
Trying to reintegrate myself into society. I just don't know that becoming a Nazi is the right step right now for me this time.
Fucking hilarious. Yeah, I think I might have been single-handedly responsible for another gang existing because when I really was like, what are we gonna do? And like,
Cause a schism.
Well, they were like, one of the answers was that like, we'll fuck up any other gangs.
Nice.
Like, there is no other gang.
Oh,
There are no other gangs. Like, you're starting the first gang. Like, what are you talking about? And I think they realized that and start like telling people to form another gang. They like that gang started telling people they should form another gang.
Really?
And then like people formed another gang and they fought them immediately. And they like stopped being a gang. Like, we didn't want to be a gang in the first place. It was that gang. It was
Their itinerary was get jumped by that gang.
And so it was like all the best fighters were in one gang.
Yeah.
And they convinced all of like the pretty boy dudes that you just want to punch in the face. They convinced them to start another gang. And then they fucked them up.
Beat them up.
For having a gang. Yeah.
And it was like UN sanctions. It was purely totally legal, totally fine.
I never realized until like now talking that out, like how much that made sense to do as a dude. It's like you start a gang with your boys, and then you think about the types of dudes you want to fuck up, convince them to start a gang,
and just beat them up
for being on your turf.
Yeah,
you can't have another gang on our turf.
It is. It's like starting a small country. That's all you're doing. You're just messing around. You're just playing like Clash of Clans in real life.
Basically,
kind of like I don't have an iOS.
Yeah,
so I'm just gonna go clash with these guys.
Yeah,
to punch these guys in real life.
So that was my white lie.
White lie.
Right? So what was your favorite lie?
Right, that's actually okay. My favorite white lie. Well, when I was just telling women I love them when I was in high school, I guess if we're gonna do that. So at the time I was incapable of actually feeling the emotion. I just covered that up by just being I love you.
All right.
How many girls in high school did you love?
Not just a couple, like three or four.
That's a lot of love.
Yeah.
Like in 4 years, were they like deep loves?
3. I would say 3 to be
Yeah.
fair. Couple off the cuff. I would just be like, I love you. I love you. Just be drunk and be like, fuck.
Dude, I in high
there's
school,
a couple. That was a pretty big white lie.
Yeah, I think I loved not only every girl that I dated in high school, but every girl I had a crush on. I think I went through a period of loving her.
You just love them.
Yeah. So, man, I fucking love this girl. I love her, man.
Yeah, I used to fall. I would fall in love when I was younger. I would talk to a girl name and be like, oh, I love her so much, dude.
Yeah.
So much. I'd get her away message and be like, oh, where is she?
Yeah.
But I can't think of it, man. In terms of a white lie, it's like if that's the bar, then I guess there's that. But there's also like, I don't know, man. I guess a lot of times people tell me stuff and I go like, nice.
Yeah.
It's my most common one. Like, nice.
Yeah.
In my head, I'm like, I didn't.
Or I guess so. How do you feel about lying? Like, how often do you lie anymore?
I try not to lie.
Yeah.
And if I do, I try to address it immediately and be like, that was a lie.
Yeah.
I lied. But I don't really have much to lie about right now.
Yeah.
I've been living on the up and up, so I don't really.
Yeah. When was the last time you had to be like, that was a lie?
I peed the bed a little bit the other night. I peed the bed a little. Not a lot. It wasn't a full. I can't say I fully peed the bed, but it was the most I'd peed the bed in a long time.
You wet the bed. You made it wet.
Yeah. It was. I was in a dream where I had to pee the whole time, and there was never a proper setting. It was always like there was like people following me, and I finally got a space, and it was just like it was beautiful too. And I was like, oh my god! And I woke up, and I was like, oh, I'm good. I went and peed in the toilet, and then I got back in bed, and I was like, oh man, I hit a spot. There's definitely a spot here. And Brittany's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm sweating, sweat a lot." That was a white lie. I was like, "I sweat, really sweaty right here." And then she's like, "Did you pee the bed?" And I was like, "Yeah, I lied. I peed the bed a little." And I just laid a towel down and then just went to bed. Oh, that was the next white lie. Was she was like, "It was disgusting. You just laid a towel down." I was like, "I didn't want to wake you up."
Yeah.
I just didn't feel like changing this. So
Dude, that's something so funny.
and I copped it all. I said, "Yeah, I just, I was embarrassed."
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I was gonna put a towel down no matter what. I was gonna fight to put a towel down. If you wanted to change the sheets, obviously, that would have been fine. But
So wait, did she roll into it?
no, it was not. It was localized.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I pretty
You
much
just placed moisture in a.
and I like wrap myself in like pillows and stuff every night. So it was
Yeah.
like I like clutch a pillow, one in my knees, one like I like grab one. So I'm like pretty buffered.
Yeah.
And then if I want to have sex with her, I like ditch my pillows and I'm like, "Hey, what's going on? Hey, I'm cuddling." I tossed an agendized cuddle on her the other morning. It was pretty nice.
Yeah, so like anytime you do like road construction, she knows. Anytime you like part ways, man, that's like it sucks when there's like a tell,
With
like I don't know, at least we're talking about bays right now.
Yeah.
Right. When and this is a very common thing when a guy and a girl they sleep together, they're living together. And when the guy wants to they're already in bed and you want to have sex, like there's that part of your brain that's like, well, we're already in bed.
Yes.
Like, so most of that other stuff that we normally have to do before getting to bed, like we can skip all that.
Yeah. Skip
right?
the intro.
Yeah. And just get to, poke her in the back with it.
I like at nighttime I like to use there's like a boner sonar system you can use where you just kind of like pulse. You get against her and pulse, and if you get an echo pulse, they'll pulse back sometimes.
Yeah.
You get an echo pulse, you're like, "Nice, I'm in." You kind of have to check. You have to send like 2 more pulses. Like, was that just a fluke? And then you get nothing, and you're like, "Fuck, dude, that was just me." I pulsed and thought it was another pulse.
Dude, one of the most embarrassing things is when it's not a sexual boner. And it's just like
They're always embarrassing,
whim
yeah.
boner.
Yeah.
And you're like, and it's touching her, and she's like, "I don't want to." You're like, "I didn't want to."
Yeah.
Like, I know I have a boner, but it's not. It's a medicinal boner more than anything.
Yeah, this is just happening right now.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, having a.
I
Yes,
have a non-sexual boner.
yeah, which is
Stop assuming.
most of my boners.
Yeah, they happen. They
Yeah.
definitely happen. And
I think I've literally used that phrase "non-sexual boner" before. I just want skin-to-skin contact. Yeah.
Hold me.
Yeah, that's well, I'm holding you. Don't even try that. I'm big spoon. I'm big spooning.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever taste a Little Spoon though?
She likes to be big.
Little Spoon is nice. If you can get into it,
Yeah.
just let your guard down and take a Little Spoon for a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's pleasant.
Ansley has so she's like trans romantic. Is that a way to say it? Like she doesn't want to be a dude, but she wants like all the stuff that the guy gets in a relationship.
True.
Like she wants the big piece of chicken. She wants to be the big spoon.
Yep.
Your
Your portion should always be bigger. I fight with Brittany about that all the time.
Yeah.
We make portions. She's like, "You got more than me." I'm like, I always will, and I always should. Like,
Yeah.
This is your portion. This is mine.
Sydney usually lets me eat first, and then he takes what's ever left.
Yeah, that's also a good move too.
Yeah, because I just got tired of fighting over portion size where it's like, you can't finish that.
yeah.
That's why I get it, because I can finish it. You know?
My thing is like, you can take more, but I'm also going to take more and have more than you.
Yeah.
So it's like, go ahead and load up your plate, but there better be enough for me to still have more than you.
It's not, yeah.
If I see my plate and she has more than me, it fucks me up.
I
I
can't.
get so mad.
We just have 2 giant piled plates in the house. Just like, just like back and forth. Yeah. So, yeah, I think we handled that the best way possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So where are we at? We got you alive. We opened up that throat chakra. You feel it? Did it feel clear? Did
Yeah,
it feel...
feels good.
All right. Cool.
Dude, asking people what they lied about most recently is the funniest fucking question.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, that's for extra points as far as higher consciousness is concerned. You can tell us any lie, but like, I would love to hear a recent one. Like, just like, I would love to have.
That was I peed myself. I peed the bed like 3 days ago. So that was very recent.
I would love if somebody had like an active white lie that they had to like then
Like,
deactivate.
can I make a phone call? Yeah,
All right. So we're moving along. We're getting into like the intellectual part of it because we're pretty much enlightened people at this point. Like we're like you're like I feel like this is where a lot of people would stop.
Yes.
I have a lie that I haven't come clean to the person about.
Oh, well, let's hear
We
it.
have it. Yeah.
Yeah. I was at work. Somebody had their dog there, and I went back to the office, and the dog was like out of the space it was supposed to be in, and it was just growling at me. And it was a little dog though.
Yeah.
So, but it was growling and it was yapping, and
So
I
you
like
kicked it.
had stuff to do. And I just left. I was just like, okay, dog. And I left. And then they got a phone call that somebody else came in and the dog ran out of the place, like out of the building, but hopped into somebody's car. And I was like, fuck, if like that dog ran away,
Yeah.
like that would have been my fault. Like it was
Well-
all okay.
Would it have been your fault? Did
'Cause
they say, "Hey, watch my dog real quick"?
No, but I should have
Yes.
been like, hey, your dog's out. Your
Yeah.
dog's like
Yeah.
But that's also
attacking people.
it's an interesting ethical dilemma, right? So you go into the room, you see the dog is out of this space. Now you went in, you saw it, you're
Yeah.
aware that the dog isn't where it's supposed to be.
But I didn't even know, like obviously the dog was not left
Are
free to
you,
roam
are
the
you trying to
building.
get rid of this lie or,
Yeah.
or like reinforce this lie? What are you trying to do
I'm
here?
just saying that, like,
Are you-
So the dog's okay though. The dog
dog's great.
Yeah.
got
Dog's
picked up
great.
by someone else. You
Yeah.
didn't know that, and you thought this dog had been possibly kidnapped, like dog napped.
Well, I just heard the story afterwards, and it was like, oh, that could have gone bad.
Oh,
Like,
gotcha,
right?
gotcha,
Like
yeah.
that dog could have run out of the building, and like, but it was somebody else went in and let the dog out of the building. Like I didn't.
Yeah, I would say
But the
that
dog-
person would take the burden. For
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Whoever opened the door.
Yeah.
yeah, but the dog was already out of the space designated
Right.
for a dog. Where if the dog was in that space when the door was open, the dog would have
Yeah.
been so far away from the door that he
It
wouldn't
wouldn't
have
have
gone
gone
out.
out, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like,
It's the owner. You brought your dog to work, and something bad happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You couldn't
Yeah.
place that on it. I have 2 dogs. I couldn't place that on anybody else.
Yeah.
yeah, is that off your chest or in your? Is that out of your throat or in your throat? Now? Is that like,
I'm better now.
Yeah?
I'm
You're better?
I
Yeah,
don't
What was
know.
the
I don't
lie?
know. I
What was
think-
the lie of it?
Well, like I tried to tell the person, like I came back and your dog was out. Like because I had to call them and be like, hey, your dog. When the dog got out of the building, I had to tell them like, hey, your dog got out of the building. So and so has your dog. They were like, well, how'd my dog get out of the space? I was like, I don't know.
How did it get
yeah,
out of the
but
space?
you don't know.
It pushed its way out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But it was out of the space.
But it
You
was
don't
You
out
were able
know.
to acknowledge
Yeah,
the fact
yeah.
that you had seen it out
And
of
I
space
didn't deal
and had
with this
thoughts about it out of
situation.
its space.
Yeah, I didn't deal with the situation.
So it was a lie by omission.
Yeah.
It was
Makes
a
sense.
omission on multiple levels because like you didn't admit that you. Or yeah, you just it was a lie by omission.
Yeah,
You just didn't.
yeah.
Yeah, you also
Yeah.
don't want to deal with like, hey, can you put your dog back in its space? And you had to do all
Yeah.
that stuff. And
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, did the right thing.
Okay.
It was the right thing. It was the right thing. And thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
Oh,
seriously.
Yeah.
I feel better now. I just wanted to come with the journey, and I felt like I couldn't.
Yeah. Because you also said you didn't have anybody to apologize to. You were like, do I have to apologize to somebody?
That's why I didn't want to apologize.
Okay. You didn't want to.
I
All
didn't
right.
want to.
And then we got to the line. You were like, I gotta get this off
I
my
know.
chest.
I couldn't do it
Yeah, how are you
anymore.
not every week just like nothing? No one apologize to anything? I did this with Brittany, and she's like, I don't have anyone to apologize to. I'd be like, nothing?
Yeah.
Nothing? Think back. Think back.
Yeah.
Come on. Sure,
We-
there's something.
There are episodes where we have nothing, and then as we're talking, we're like, oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, I
this-
should have.
Yeah.
Sorry for that.
Whoa! I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I blocked that one out of my mind for the week. It's crazy how quickly you can completely forget that you did some shit.
Yeah.
You know, like absolutely just like whatever that old lady needed, but she needed to learn. You know what I mean? Like, yep, maybe I cut her off like right before she got in line, but
Yeah.
I turned fast.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Hey, we're good. We're getting up into the intellectual stuff now. So again, we'll see how this goes, but this is dealing with like the illusion of separation, right?
Mhm.
So this is the third eye,
Yeah.
right? We're up there. We're out
Yeah,
of the
we're-
throat. We're into the third eye, and this is heavy shit. So what are some things that something that maybe you traditionally saw as separate, but you're learning or not? They are one and two sides, the same side of the coin.
Same side of the coin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. Things that I assumed were separate that I think
Yeah.
are kind of
Or just,
conjoined now.
yeah. Something that I mean, I guess I kind of want. I don't want to say any more to kind of
You don't want to lead.
Yeah, I don't want to lead. I just want to see how this gets answered.
Oh, dude. Most easily, it's just myself and the universe. I would say.
Okay.
I thought of myself as a really separate entity, but I've been reading a lot about just how life started in general and how it's, there was one thing I was reading was saying how basically like lightning hit the soil and activated amino acids, which then, formed different combinations into like different cells and amoebas and blah, 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 blah. So, reading about stuff like that and just kind of, I think I was talking about it before, just identifying with the parts of you that are running on like electricity, that kind of like primordial energy, and how it's like we're just made up of like the basic stuff. And it sounds like one of those things like we're made of stardust.
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, I think like all but 4 of the periodic elements come from nuclear reaction within like stars. Like they get so hot that it just spews out all of the stuff that that forms our material world. It's like just linking myself with that kind of, that I come from that. And I'm like, nice.
You feel confident that, like you said at the beginning, like your energy, like when you die, goes back into the universe. Like, do you think it goes back and like it's just like a ball of energy around the world, or you think it's like you retain like your self energy or whatever, like you can go like haunt your loved ones, or like like you know what I mean, like the
I know what
difference
you're talking about.
I
if
think
you do
energy.
find individuality in that energy, or is it just like a massive energy that like
I don't know, because you're dealing with the infinite, so it could be just both.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It could still be that. It also could be, you might tap back into like the source of all things, and it's like, well, what's Matt up to? I'm like, fuck that guy, dude.
Yeah.
Back into the source of all things.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have no idea. I just kind of like, I just like that idea, and I just think about it, and I'm like, then you get into like religious concepts, and you're like,
Yeah.
it rules. It's a cool way to picture God
Yeah.
as like all the energy in the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
all the
thought about that a
consciousness.
lot recently, like Sydney said, with losing my mom. And I feel like recently I feel like she is super present in my girls. And it's like that continuation of a cycle of like, like I don't know. I feel like there's more to like the lineage of like your family and like energy being passed down, and like you're a part of them, they're a part of you. And like, yeah.
Exactly. And that's the part that they are her, that, it was like her, you, them, but that unbroken life cycle is going. Now they get to be 2 kind of new people and personalities, but it's really that same life energy that will just continue on. Really cool.
Yeah, I also, because I'm into communication and I like to read books on information and stuff, I look at it as information that gets passed on. So as much as God would be like all of the collective energy, God is also all of the collective information. That's what makes God all knowing.
For sure.
So like the energy. So again, when Matt's energy goes into the all knowing, all the information, he takes all the information with him, puts that into the into the collective, and that's how God is all. That's the omnipotence of God. So like the information then passed. Your mom informed you informed your daughters, therefore your mom informed your daughter. So of course we're going to see a lot of your mom and our kids.
Yeah, that rules. I like that kind of stuff a lot. Of like how long after, there's you have your body and you have stuff. And then there's like the things you do, the meaning that they kind of put out into the world, and the things that the effects they have, and like that can travel like really far into the future, in bad ways too. Which is like that always kind of scares me straight, of like just the thought of like fucking up a family line for like 800 years. Like, God damn, what an asshole.
It kind of
Just
feels
fucking ruining like 5 generations.
Yeah,
you can do it. I can go home and do it right now. So easily.
I feel like if I listen to the stories that of that we all hear about our parents, like I'm talking about Ainsley and my parents, they're kind of like her dad was kind of at the end of a line of fucked up family and started. I feel like our family is the starting of like a positive legacy for our combined family.
Yeah.
And it's kind of neat that way. And and your mother was our family matriarch, and that's kind of cool. So that's I feel like we're at the beginning of that now.
Yeah.
We'll
Dude, it takes hundreds of years to like like you were saying, like generationally get to people who aren't just like being absolutely disastrous to themselves in the world.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like the majority of people are
Yeah.
just kicking around and like, I wouldn't say the majority, not that bad, but it's like, there's a lot of people who are just kicking around and fucking shit up.
Dude, when,
Yeah.
when you consider
Big time.
the luck it takes to just be with a person that you can get along with and then have kids with that person, and then that person, those kids find somebody that they can get along with and build with, you know, which again, so those 100 years that it takes for like one person in the family to kind of like mutate out of it and start not fucking up, they can immediately have kids that go right back into that old, wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's like the fact that any family, you can look back in their line and see multiple generations of people that don't suck is impressive.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty nuts.
Yeah.
It's also, this is a cool thing about having kids, because then you start thinking about like lineage and shit, and it's
Mhm.
just so much better than being like, is this shirt cool? Does this shirt look cool?
The shirt I stole from Target.
Man, this pocket tee, when I lift my arms, shows my belly button. Like, whoa, hate this shirt.
Yeah. And man, this is all right, so we're kind of at the last question here.
All right.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
All right. So what is the one thing that you don't feel like you can never give up?
One thing I can never give up.
Yeah. And then of course why? And then what would it mean to you to give that up? Like why would
It's a good question. I have so many things I couldn't give up. The honestly, dude, it's like I could never giving up. Well, there's a million things I could think, like writing, all these things. Like I have to, I like that. But the main one would be giving up on not being like a miserable dickhead.
Yeah.
Like just being like, fuck it, I fucking hate. I'm just gonna be a miserable dickhead. That's my ultimate thing of like making sure I just don't do that. You can become a miserable dickhead really easily.
Yeah.
But
Wait, so
that's my more overarching thing. And what I'm saying, not giving up, is giving into that.
okay, so help my retarded brain for a second, because do you completely understand that?
Hmm.
All right.
So okay, but that's not I know what you're saying. It's giving up as like a thing you're doing. I'm talking about not giving up on not doing a thing. So that kind of doesn't really count.
You're like you're giving in to something. Like
Yeah,
the thing you
yeah.
don't
So
wanna
that doesn't
give
count. That's a
into.
bad answer. I would more say
But is that like giving up hope of like what would
Exactly, that's-
drive you to the point to give in to that?
just being a bitch, I guess. I just give in to being a bitch and just be like, oh, yeah, this feels kind of good, actually. I'm going to do this for a
Yeah.
little. I'm going to do it for like a week and I'll stop. And it's like, no, that's nice. No, I would say, I don't know, dude. I mean, I just, like, I guess writing. I like to write, or just kind of like, I don't know. I would have, years ago, I would have been like, I'm never going to give in. I'm never going to work for anybody else. But now I'm like, I'd go work for somebody. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, if I had to, I wouldn't cry about it. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's just not. I can't think of a thing. I mean, obviously it's weed. Like,
Yeah.
no, not giving that
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
So I've tried, and it's just like I've really come to the conclusion, like if I just keep this, if I don't like pig out on this and keep like a small, respectable amount of this in like a daily functional use, or like every couple of weeks or so, I'm better off. Like I've tried to quit weed, and I've quit weed, and it's like, this is the wrong move. I've done this a bunch of times. I'm like, I'm fucking up by not doing this.
Yeah.
So probably weed.
Yeah. So I guess then
That was a bad answer.
no,
the way I
that's
phrased it-
actually a really good answer, because so what is it that you would be giving up if you gave up weed?
just the benefits of having it in my system. It's a net positive.
Yeah.
If I'm abusing it, it doesn't work for me.
Mhm.
But if I abuse it, that's one that I'm going this far that way, and I swing the pendulum back and say I'm not going to have it at all, and that's an equal mistake to abusing it. So I need to have a little bit of it in my system.
Yeah.
This is just what I've learned.
How do you manage that from not going one way or the other? Like, are you like does that now become an additional feature of your life where you have to manage your weed smoke in order to?
It's pretty easy for me not to do it, honestly, because
Okay.
if I have too, always do edibles for the most part. And if I have too much, I fucking freak.
Yeah.
Like I'll be in my bathroom and be like forget I'm in there for like 20 seconds and be like, oh fuck, this is
Yeah.
not good. So it's like the governor is pretty good on me. Like if I redline that, I pay for it instantly. I
Yeah.
don't like guys are like, oh, I just fell asleep. It's like I tortured myself for 2.5 hours. I lost my mind for like an hour. And it's like, that's, so it's easy to kind of keep the wheels on. But, yeah, I don't know. I think what I was trying to say is the thing I don't want to give up is my quest to keep moving forward and developing. Become complacent. That's kind of what I was trying to say.
Yeah. I understand that. Thank you for rewording that for my dumb brain.
No, I take equal fault in that.
Yeah. No, Ainsley got it.
Kind of.
If a woman can get it.
Was that a white lie? Is that a white lie?
Yeah, did you really get that?
I think so. I mean,
Yeah, I think you're. Yeah.
Yeah. What he just said, was that you were thinking, like his quest? Like
no, I didn't word it that way, but.
How did you word it in your head?
I worded it the way I said it, like not giving in to being a shithead.
Yeah,
Right.
similar.
Like,
Very
like
very
giving
similar
up.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, just being like, fuck it, I'm giving in.
Yeah.
This is it for me.
Yeah.
And that's just that. It's like, no,
Yeah.
can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, this has been an amazing experience.
Dude, this is a blast, man.
Yeah.
As soon as you told me the new format, I'm like, I want to do that so bad.
Yeah.
Sounds so fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's like it's really late, and we would ask you to do the Patreon, but like I know Ainsley has to get the kids to sleep, and I know you have to do your thing. And
Wait,
but,
should we test it?
Yeah.
Do we have to?
Yeah.
It's a tough moment
But
for me.
I do want to get you on for a Patreon episode, because the Patreon episode is kind of different.
Yeah.
It's going to be a similar format, but like the questions are like very different. So I also want to get you on for that.
Yeah.
And so check it. Definitely subscribe to our Patreon. We'll get Matt on. It might not be the immediate Patreon episode after this, but we will definitely have him on for the Patreon. So Ainsley.
Yeah.
After talking to Matt, after hearing everything that he had to say, did you feel like you became enlightened?
I'm wiser.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm definitely, I feel like there's been growth. So thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate it too.
Sorry,
Matt,
I kept cracking my knuckles. I just realized I've been cracking my knuckles the whole time.
No, that's like all like, both heroes and villains crack their knuckles. Yeah. Like the good ones of each.
Yeah.
True.
True.
Yeah.
I only fuck with heroes and villains that get their own hands dirty. They're out there like cracking knuckles, like fucking wearing bandanas and shit.
Yeah.
So, no, this is an absolutely fun experience, man. I don't know if I necessarily became enlightened, but I definitely got wiser. Like, how did you feel talking all this stuff out?
Same thing.
Yeah.
Kind of just went up, probably squeaked up a couple points on the scale. And I was
Hell yeah.
Nice. I'm going more for kind of like personal salvation right now over enlightenment.
Yeah. So
that's an attainable goal.
What are those? What is the difference?
Purifying the ego versus like completely transcending it.
Okay. I think that's what we're trying to do.
We just didn't know.
Yeah. I think that's it. I think we're just trying to purify the ego.
Yeah.
So that we can, like, we're not necessarily trying to we're trying to have a higher consciousness and then like do fun shit with it.
Yeah.
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 I feel like a lot of people try to get a higher consciousness and just like float it off into the ether.
Yeah.
We're trying to like get a higher consciousness and tell better dick jokes.
Yeah.
Like
that's salvation territory.
Yeah.
That's personal salvation.
Yeah. Well, Matt, I definitely want to thank you for doing this.
Dude, this is awesome. Thank you.
This is everything that I thought it was going to be, and I can't wait to get this out to people. Thank you so much for listening. We're not going to do shout-outs this week. We're a little bit up against the clock. Old school. Yeah. We're up against the clock, so we got to get out of here. But thank you so much for checking us out. I hope you had a good time. Subscribe to the Patreon. It's, as above is below. Our Patreon is below. It gets a little darker, but we have a little more fun. Come have that with us. And check out Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast, of course. Overlook, the novel. Get it. It's on Amazon, right?
Yeah. It's on Amazon.
And Kindle as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both.
Worth it. It's a fun book.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I'm like reading it.
I'm pumped you're reading it. I'm really pumped right now.
Yeah. Because it's about to be an audio book, and yours truly is going to be doing the voice. So, of course, I'm now reading Matt's book 4 times in one reading.
Voice actor, dude. Phenomenal voice actor, too.
I'm having
inflections there. It's
having a good time.
It's good.
Having a good time. All right. Thank you so much for listening to the Two Yacht Bros. Check out our Patreon, and we are out.